Welcome to the Fantasy Pavilion, your home for fantasy sports.
Yes, guys, welcome back to the Fantasy Pavilion, your home for fantasy sport. And of course, it is F1 weekend. Happy F1 weekend. Albert Park, Australian GP. And because it is in Australia, FP1 is actually going to be in a few minutes. Actually, it is actually in a few minutes time. You're going to have the first practice session in 25 minutes. Right, you're going to have the first practice session. But of course, we're here to preview as much as we can of the circuit, and of course, get into some of the fantasy tips for the weekend. As I said before, it is Albert Park. Now, of course, before we get into it, there's a new penalty being applied now, being observed for this race, and of course, all the other races to come, whereby there are going to be penalties now for teams that have their the other members or the other staff members hanging or climbing on the fence just at the end of the race. You know, when they gesturing and waving on the driver as they cross the checkered flag point. So that is something there to observe. Of course, in other news, there's something else I want to talk about. Of course, there's also a change now to the starting grid, right? They added a few more centimeters now because a few of the drivers are saying that they're so low in the seat that sometimes it's a bit difficult to see where the starting point is, where they have to fit in. Right. Of course, we saw Alonso got penalized for this last race back out at Jeddah. So the FIA have made some steps to improve this. So good on them. Let's see how that helps. No, well, with the race, of course, in Australia. Let's take a quick preview. As you know, guys, the weekend always usually starts on a Friday, but of course, because in Australia, of course, is a few hours ahead of everyone. So, as I said before, FP1 starts literally in now 23 minutes, right? Starts in a bit. So let's just take a quick preview and gander at Australia. So of course, um, today, the 30th, F practice one starts in a bit, as I told you. Practice two will be on Friday at 1 a.m., which is the race time on Sunday, 1 a.m. our time, AST. Then again, we have another practice session a little later on, same Saturday, and then of course, Sunday our race day. Well, technically Sunday, 1 a.m. We have race day at 1 a.m. Right, so crazy, crazy. Of course, don't forget qualifying as well. Right, qualifying is where the cutoff mark is for the fantasy. So please be sure, just after, you might have a few seconds just to see how the racers do, and then you can think your team really quickly. So don't take too long to do that. Now, of course, Albert Park is one of those tracks that have been in existence for quite a while. The first Grand Prix was back in 1996. It is a 58 lap circuit. We have 4 DRS zones. So ignore this circuit. It is this display here, right? This was the old display. It is supposed to have four, so it's 4 DRS zones, as you can see there, indicated by those striations there. So it's 4 DRS zones. Now, it is very tricky to overtake this track, right? The best points to overtake will be turn 1, 3, and 11, right? Now they made some changes to the track to improve that. So let's see how it is, how that pans out. Now there are detection zones, as you can see, just between each of the DRS zones, right? So again, that could play into the hands of easy overtaking. Now, this track, the last track we had, this circuit boasts 14 winners, right? Schumacher has the record of winning the most out of those, right? Our last winner was Charles Leclerc. His strategy last time was just a one stopper. So we think that maybe the strategy for most of the drivers for this track. Um, we have to give a special mention to Albon. Albon last time on this track went almost a whopping 57 laps, right? He went a whopping 57 laps on the hards and then opted for the softs on the end. So he had a very good race on the hards. But most of the other drivers, they went from mediums to hards and then finish out the race, and that's what Charles Leclerc did. So we may see that strategy come out on this rounds again. Of course, Red Bull had the fastest pit stop last time. And of course, pit stops are very key now and integral to the fantasy game, guys. So pay attention to that. Of course, top three drivers who have the fastest pit stops get some points. So pay attention to that, right? That is very key. Of course, I'm joined here by Ishmael. Big up Ishmael all the time, bro. Thanks for coming through. Right now, last time along too as well, guys. We had two full safety cars and we also had a virtual safety car, right? Of course, this is a street circuit. Once you hear the term street circuit, automatically assume there's going to be some sort of safety car. There were three DNFs last time out. Alonso were one of those DNFs, but let's hope and be confident and positive that does not happen to him this time around. All right. So yeah, that's just a quick breakdown and preview of the race and the circuit itself. We could slide right into the fantasy aspect of it and take some time on the team as well. I'm glad Ishmael just jumped in. Ishmael, anything before we jump in terms of the race or the track or the circuit, anything at all before we jump into the F1 fantasy aspect?
I know you mentioned we'll be discussing like the new penalty they mentioned and some other stuff there.
Well, I already went over that already. I mean, if you want to touch it again, we already did all. I did all that already. If you want
So
to touch it one time,
I was a bit out of the loop today because I was doing some stuff, right? But the new penalty, if I'm not mistaken, is for the crew on the pit wall, right?
correct is right.
So on the looks of it, okay, yes, that is dangerous. Understandable that they would want not to that to happen. But we treading in a very interesting space. I don't want to say dangerous because it's not dangerous because they're trying to remove the dangers, right? But we are really going through a very interesting space where F1 on a whole in the last few years, let me say from 2018 to let's say 2028, if you watch F1 pre 2018 and then post 2028, you're going to see entirely different F1, right? I think the Halo was somewhere around 18, 19, somewhere around there, right?
Right.
So right now, people might be a bit upset and, questioning, okay, well, why are they doing these things? I know the Halo was a huge contention when it was coming, right? Because, I mean, oh God, look how the cow look, it will look real ugly, blah, blah, blah. Right now, it's physically paying me if I go back and watch old races to see cars without a halo, knowing the dangers that it pose, and knowing how simple halo could fix, reduce so much risk in those dangers. So, the past couple of years, especially, there's a lot of contentious changes that they've been making. Recently, I think this season they have a few changes already. No mopeds or any other vehicles on track walks, all of these things. And while I see that these are minimal risk things, they are still things that pose risks and pose dangers. And I understand why they're doing it. So I can't really be too disheartened by it. But when you now see it immediately, you'll be like, that's a bit rough, because that's the whole thing, right? The teams. Imagine, somebody like one of the new rookies or somebody who's there winning their first race, and they can't go on the pit wall and cheer them on. That's across the finish line. So it's an interesting change they're making. I think it's for the better. So we'll see if the teams protested very much or not in soon.
Okay.
And just as you mentioned, the street track, I think, yes, it is a street track, but I think this is one of the more relatively safe street tracks compared to theirs. Still poses the risks of a street track, but I think this one is a bit safer than usual. It's not as bad. When I say as bad, I mean as tight corners, as tight turns, speed from
Well,
going high, low.
except for 11, but yeah.
Yeah. So it's not Monaco.
Yeah, oh Lord, definitely not. Definitely not Monaco. It is definitely not Monaco at all. So yeah, of course. So yeah, thanks for that. And of course, also I would have mentioned they added 20 centimeters to the starting grid as well. Ishmael, if you heard about that, because of
I
the recent issues that we've
I
been having.
did not hear about that,
Yes,
but
so they added. Yeah,
I'm guessing the penalties for the starting positions weren't like hugely off. They were like right on the line.
yeah,
But I think a
yeah.
lot of the drivers can't really see too well,
That is it. That is it. That
so
is
they're
it.
really just estimating. So that's a good change. I
Yeah.
applaud that change. Really happy for that.
That is itself because a lot of them they were complaining that it's very remember they are low down in the car, so it's very
Hmm.
difficult for them to see where they have to start from. So in
Yeah,
light of this, according to Racing News 365, in light of this, the grid boxes will now be 20 centimeters wider in Melbourne, right? And additionally, there will be also a center line to guide the driver as to where to park the car's nose, right?
that's good.
So
That's really good.
so that's great, good initiative. We're happy to see that. Very, very good. Very happy to see that. Very good
Yeah,
to see them put
because
that initiative there.
it is really sad, like on the third and fourth lap, when you see a driver come, take over two overtakes, and then you hear they have a 5 second penalty because of,
Exactly, exactly,
yeah.
exactly,
And it's
exactly.
something so simply avoidable. So that's good.
Yeah, yeah. And let's not forget the tumultuous events, the topsy turvy emotions that Alonso might have been going through last weekend. Oh, not last weekend, sorry, but last race rather. Of course, getting the penalties, and then of course being told he didn't serve the penalty, so he could have lost out on a third place there because of just that particular penalty alone. So yeah, glad that they put this in place now. So hopefully the guys now could see their way better and not incur this and have a better start to the race and not have this on their mind. Oh, I have this penalty because I did not see where I started from. So yeah, that's kudos on them, FIA. We always clown them, but we have to give them props when they get it right or when they put something good, a good initiative forward. So I want to give them props for that. So yeah, we could get into this. Actually, wait, hold on. Before we get into that, is maybe we should. And I don't know, Ish, if you know that apparently in a few minutes' time, FP1. I don't know if you'll be. Uh,
We- I mean, I might have it in the background. I
yeah,
won't
bro.
be
Because of course,
yeah.
because it's Australia, as we know, Australia is a bit different in terms of their time zone. So it will always be a little earlier than normal, right? Of course, all the different time zones. I follow a lot of friends from I follow a lot of pages from London, and they of course will be feeling it because they have to get up so early. Of course, 1 a.m. is a decent. I like 1 a.m. I'm very glad for the 1 a.m. I like it, right? For
No,
me at least.
for me personally, like 8 a.m.s, 9 a.m.s, that's the perfect times. Grab all two doubles, all solo, and sit down and watch my race.
No, I love you. 1 a.m. is I'm already up, it's just cozy. Something about it, just nice. So last time, I just want to take a quick look at this before we go. So you have an idea of the history of the race and the pedigree, how the drivers did last time. So of course, last time out, Charles Leclerc won it. As I told you before, it was just a one-stopper, medium to hards. I think he changed to the hards on lap 27, I believe. Do not or 22 rather, lap 22. Sorry, rather right. With some little research out here, lap 22. And that worked out really good for him. Most of the drivers opted for this. I think it was only 4 drivers that did the reverse and went from and started with the hards instead. Right. So again, something to note. Of
Which
course,
compounds they carrying?
So the compounds this weekend are the C2, C3, and C5. These are the compounds for this weekend, right? That's the compounds
So
for this
very
weekend.
soft tires.
Yeah, because the tire deg on the track is not terrible actually. So that is why they were able, obviously, based on the strategy, one stopper. So and as I said, Albon went all the way to 57 on hards last time, and then switched to the softs coming on to the end. So
Yeah.
again,
The
so and he finished in 10th. So he had
the
a brilliant
C5
race.
C5 is the softest of the range, right?
Yeah, yeah. So he had
So
the
that one might last even
feature.
with a low
Yeah,
dead.
they said it may some of the teams were saying, it may play a part this time around, but I doubt that they will.
I
It
mean,
maybe what Albon did, maybe if
yeah,
someone feeling
yeah,
frisky, based on, yeah, maybe.
no, like I mean, for me, like a hard to like lap 35, 40 and onto the softs might work out. You'll get track position, and then if you could time, and as I say, it's a street circuit, so just start with the hards, hold on to it, and people pit and stuff, and then maybe you might get a safety car, you get a quick pit stop into the softs, good to go. If the strategy works out where the pit stop into the mediums could earlier in your race, then that's fine as well. So yeah,
Ian, who is in London right now, Crystal Palace area to be exact there. Yes, he feeling it again. Yep, he's up waiting for FP1. Right? Big up Ian. Thanks for coming through. Don't forget Ian, we have FPL in a bit. So hope to see you while FP1 going on in the comment section as well. Thanks for coming through, bro. I appreciate you. Right.
then
Of
at 2
course.
a.m.
Yeah, their time because you had that 4 hours, so 9 and 4. So
you
send
have
the count.
one as
No,
well.
5. It's 5 now. Everything back to normal now. So it's 5.
I
Sorry,
know it's
5.
fluctuate between 4 and 5. Yeah,
Yeah, it's 5 now. It's 5. Yeah, I think everything back to normal now. Ian,
yeah.
is that correct? I think so. Yeah, so it's 5 hours for us now. We
Half
have
two in
to
the
have.
morning.
Yeah, bro. Whew. But I would have loved that. I like those are my times. You telling me races at 1 a.m., 3 a.m. Oh, I am there, bro. I am there. I love that. Those are my times. Of course. So as I said, Perez also was on the podium, and Russell was on the podium as well. Russell, as you know, had a very good season last season, brilliant season. The top 10 would to round it off quickly. I'll start from 10. So of course, Albon with the amazing race and strategy, as we told you guys just now. Then, of course, it was Pierre Gasly above him, Bottas, Ocon, Ricardo, Norris, Hamilton, Russell, Perez, and Leclerc. Now, the main person that I will personally keep an eye on, I don't want to say we and speak out of turn, but I'll be keeping an eye on Piastri. Of course, it is his home race. So I will be keeping an eye on him just to see how he does, especially with the practice session tonight, of course, tomorrow, and then, of course, qualifying. So I'll be very eager to see how he represents on his home turf. All right, so
So
that's
you're
just
hoping
a
for like a P13 or something?
well. I would love for him to do a little higher. I would love for him to do a little higher. That would be
Okay,
nice.
so a P12. Okay, no problem. No
Yeah,
problem.
that'll be real. Yeah, that'll be great. I would love for him
Yeah,
to do a
no,
little
no points for
P10,
McLaren this season.
a little P. I would love a P10 actually, but if he takes P10, then I don't want that to affect Gasly and some other guys who have been doing really
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
who have
yeah.
been having a
No
steady
point, no
season.
points for McLaren this season. Sorry.
Oh, lush. I know about all that, but you never know. Yeah, that's right. Ian correctly. Yes, it's 5 now. Good. Right. So you have to add 5, especially with football, right? You have to make sure no miss your games. Add that 5 for sure. That's 5 is important. All right. So let's take a quick gander at the fantasy, Ishmael, and you'll help us pick a team really quickly now
Yeah.
for the weekend because you have to you're representing the panel. So, but I'll help you out. Don't worry. I don't put too much pressure on you. I'll help you out.
Yeah, but I have no objections this time because my seat is
Yeah.
final
Hey,
seat.
what you pick is pick it. Exactly. What you pick will be going forward. Will be the Ishmael's pick for this weekend, seeing as Michael couldn't make. All right. So let's go straight into that one. Let's just go. Team 2 is the team, our channel's team, right? The team that we're using to challenge anyone that's in the league with us. So, of course, currently it is Max Verstappen, George Russell, Fernando Alonso, Valtteri Bottas, and Nico Hulkenberg. And of course, the constructor is Red Bull Racing and Aston Martin. So,
You know, it's,
Ishmael,
it's
take it away.
interesting. Since I have the final seat and everything, I can use any chips.
Bro,
And you catch
anything
it
you
up
want
quick.
to do, bro, I am just here to click I'm not even going to help you. I'm not going to dispute anything. You go right ahead, bro. Because this
Alright.
is for the panel to do, not for me. This is the panel. So you're the panel. Take it away, bro.
I
Whatever you
think
say goes.
I think the experiment with Nico and Valtteri may have been a bit too early in the season for them.
Okay.
So
Okay.
tentatively, let's remove both of them and see who we
Sure.
could get to replace them.
Not a problem, sir. As I said, you have the final say. I will scroll and you stop me accordingly. So I'll just
Alright,
let me
how
fill
much
you in.
money
You
you
have
got?
11. You have 11.9 in the bank with those removals.
11.9. Okay.
So let's scroll. Let me scroll because I have to go down for you to be able to get two players within that price bracket at least.
Right. Order by price, no?
Sorry?
If you can order by price.
Oh, yeah, okay.
No, just click on your price. I think if you click on
I
your
could,
price, it should.
I could do it lower too if you want it because you see how.
If you click on your value, yeah.
Right, no
Right.
problem.
Or you start from the
I was going to do it lower for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Alright.
Talk to me.
So Sergeant is an interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alright. Yuki. Okay. Guan Yu, Joe, Nick DeVries. So if we look to split it up to like a 5-5, that'll be like Algo DeVries. Otherwise, we had to go lower. So the high, was it Lewis?
The lowest is 3.9 with Logan Sargent.
4. Alright, so if we take away like a 4.5, let's say 5 from the 9, from the 11, sorry, we could go up to like a 7.5, right?
Okay, roughly. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me go up and see who's up to the 7.5s.
You have Lance Stroll, your favorite driver.
Alright, so we already have a double on Austin and Fernando. But Lance wouldn't be such a bad idea, to be honest.
Yeah. Wow, Ian. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Ian,
Alright,
for sure.
let me see if we could get in a Lance.
All right, so you want to. So you're going. All right, no problem. Again, I'm not saying anything, right, Babam? So
Alright,
now
so
you have
that's
4.4.
4.4. So
Mm-hmm.
who we have available for
So you're
4.4?
back to Nico or Sargent.
Nico Sargent. Surprising that Nico has 0 points and Sargent has 13 for the season. Though.
Yeah, yeah. He's been doing very well in the
Crazy.
qualifying.
Crazy. That's an interesting one. Nico Sargent. Because essentially what we did so far was downgrade Valtteri to Stroll, which is technically an upgrade.
True.
If you think about it.
True. Because Bottas has 11 points and Stroll
doesn't have much.
has 3 points. So not much of a wow, but very well more points than
No, but it's because he DNF, right? So
yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Fair,
So
fair.
he'll pick back up that. I believe in him.
All right, no problem.
Yeah. So it's an interesting one between Nico and Sargent. Because I firmly believe Nico could give you points in terms of reaching like 10th or something. But
Yes, Ian, fully agree. Yeah. No, I like Stroll. Stroll, and I must say he surprised me this season. It's just the DNF. He did well. He started well. Normally, Stroll not always in the conversation. So he's doing well. Stroll and Bottas both had big matches in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, and Stroll. Yeah. For sure. But let's see what they could do in Albert Park this time around. Yes, man.
yeah, I'll probably go with Sargent. Let's try something fresh. Let's try something new.
All right, so
I'll looking at the percentage pick for Nico, and if we get that 2 points there, it could help us compared to the
all
a
right.
little bit more than the 20% for Nico.
No problem. And I can click continue. We could go ahead.
Yeah, I'll keep
All
that
right.
in bank and let them boys fix up next week.
Confirm changes. Are you Are you moving? Do you want to move your double? Double is on Alonso. Are you leaving it there?
I think we could carry it to max.
All right.
And the only reason I'm moving it to max is because we already triple on Austin. So if Alonso there, misses out on something, and then constructor, we double max in terms of Red Bull and the constructor and him, but still, it's probably DC for better right now.
I have no problem with that, sir. None whatsoever. Right. So you have the same lineup, but have 5.1 in the bank. I leave the Vries, Nico, or Sargent. For me, no, if I no, I mean I'm not gonna talk about that team. I have two teams to fix, right? But for me, this is my team here, right? Of course, team one and of course team three. Team one, I am leaving as is because I like what everyone is doing so far, especially Gasly. Gasly doing his thing right now. Albon doing his thing right now. Stroll has to redeem himself. Team three, I may tinker. I may. But I don't know why. I just love
Yeah,
the
you're supposed
the
to have
different.
money for team sharing.
Yeah, team three in a gear, right? I could, yeah, look at those low budget constructors and everything.
Yeah,
But I just have a vibe that I think some of the guys who need to do something more and push this out, especially Leclerc, could come up trumps, especially with
yeah.
qualifying. So I'm
So
leaving them for now.
so Leclerc, Perez, Alonso, fine. But in terms of like the other drivers, the low budget ones, I think they will kind of come into their own until in terms of like the 7th to 10th races. That's where you usually see like, oh, what are you doing there? That's a
Yeah,
surprise.
yeah, correct.
So yeah, but between the Vries, Nico, and Sargent, honestly, I don't really have much faith in De Vries' car. Not him personally, but his car.
Right, right.
So I have way more faith in Williams and Haas.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would put it between Nico and Sargent. Honestly, at this point, is a coin flip.
I think the key thing for me for this particular race, guys, qualifying. Qualifying. Try your best. I know it's difficult, trust me, because of the time difference. But if you can set an alarm and time that so well that you get up just in time for it and in that minute or 2 minutes, I mean you have a little longer than me, but just saying in that time frame that you have to quickly select your team for the race, I will go with the guys that have qualified because only saying that because of how difficult it is to overtake. I think that whoever is in pole should go on to win the race, should, right? But if it's not a Red Bull, because if it's a Red Bull, then if it's not a Red Bull, sorry, then tough.
Rebel
They
will
will
be
catch you.
fast. Yeah.
They are going to come and get you. But once it's one of those Red Bull boys, if it's Checo or it's Max, guaranteed they're going to win the race.
And the
And
thing
then
is, they don't
a
even need to
fight up for
pass
the
them
rest.
on track
Yeah,
because you just play on different strategies, and Red Bull just faster. So Red
yeah,
Bull will get them while they pit in or while Red Bull pit
exactly
in.
that. And especially as the strategy may be a one stopper, yeah, problems. So yeah, that's really my mean like piece of advice, right? Just try and if not, obviously, for me, boy, if you had to pick one of those three, I will go with Sargent, just because he has been doing well. He has the most points so far and the differential. He's doing good. He's doing pretty good. He just has to get a top 10 now. He has to get a top 10 in one of the races, finish in the top 10. But he's doing well, especially in qualifying. He's showing he can handle the car. But of course, he's learning the circus. He's learning the circus, and of course, wrangling with some of the other top drivers in the world. So he's doing his thing. So pick up Sargent. So guys, that's it. It was a short show, quick show, because we have the FPL at the top of the hour coming up. So I'm gonna just go and prep for that. We have a we have a lot to talk about in our FPL. So of course, I'm gonna prep for that. But of course, if you like the video, please leave a like, comment as well. Let us know what you think about the picks. If you will change anything in our teams, I'm gonna take in some of the practice one while I'm waiting for the hour show to start. I want to thank Ian for coming through. Ian, hopefully I see you in the FPL episode just at the top of the hour. Ishmael, thanks for your time. Guys, happy picking your DRS double master the dance and get all the points that you wish and desire, and may all your drivers get into the top 10 and your constructors. We'll see you all
I
in
have
the
a
next one.
quick
Don't forget,
question.
You go ahead.
How much you have planned for the FPL? Because your boy might have a white card.
Well, now we'll talk about that. I don't want to disrupt this show for that. We'll talk about that another time. I'll talk to you about that. I don't want to disrupt this show for that.
No, I
But
know sometimes you just have a little time to kill now. So
yeah. So the boy, now we're going to dive into that one time. Don't forget to guys. Sadly, after Albert Park is gonna be a 4 week spring break, so no racing for a while. Size, but we will be back with you guys in the next one, which is the next one. The next one is Azerbaijan, right? April Baku, right? April 28th. So we'll see you guys for that one. And of course, right after that will be Miami as well. So some great racing coming up, but of course in 4 weeks' time. So we'll see you all in the next one. Take care.